I'm Karen Johnson. You're watching the Weather Network, and it's time to talk about what's happening now. Active weather in through the prairies, and we're going to tell you more about that if you're planning any time out there. We're seeing some thunderstorm activity. This was in through Black Diamond, Alberta, and as the rain count totals are 104 millimeters from last night, and yes, could see some more associated with thunderstorm activity. Well, Caravana, as we used to know it, is now called the Caribbean Festival. It kicks off July 14th, and this was the scene downtown Toronto kicking off the festivities. Now, this carnival brings in the best of the best of musical towns from the Caribbean, and I cannot wait to see the visitors making its way through. Hail in New Brunswick, and that was the story out east. A hailstorm made its way and also made some headlines. And that's what you need to know. What's happening now? Your locals are next.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. It is July the 13th. Kim McDonald, Lindsay Morrison is here. This is your national forecast. I know you're just trying to get the sleep out of your eyes. Maybe it was a little hard to sleep in parts of the country last night because of the stormy weather. We certainly saw the storms yesterday in New Brunswick.
We did. There was just about everything associated with these storms. We had frequent lightning, we had rumbles of thunder, some heavy downpours, and some significant rainfall accumulations by the time all was said and done.
This is what Moncton looked like, the lightning lighting up the night sky. We had calls from St. Stephen and from Oromocto, New Brunswick on our storm line through the overnight hours. It's going to be a calmer day today, but pretty wild yesterday. We still have storms happening in the prairies. They're not nearly as severe as they were last night, but as we get into the very early morning hours, we're still seeing some thunderstorms holding on.
Yes, and those storms in the prairies, Kim, actually prompted tornado warnings in several communities of Saskatchewan. So a very active night in some parts of our country. As we look ahead to today, a bit of a different story if you are in the Maritimes. First, though, here's a look at some of those numbers that we talked about. About 47 millimeters of rain has fallen in and around Moncton. Charlottetown, about 22 millimeters. And St. Stephen, you've had about 19. Here's a look at the latest radar data. Conditions are beginning to clear across the Maritimes, but there is some rain in store for you today if you are in Newfoundland. More details on that in just a moment. Here's a look at your temperatures. An improvement for today in Halifax, looking at a daytime high of 25 degrees, and another mild day in St. John's at 20 degrees, but the rain will be coming down not only today, but through the day tomorrow as well. That low pressure system will depart, but then here comes a second little pulse to the Avalon Peninsula for your Thursday. Conditions will be clearing in New Brunswick, but Kim, we're still looking at some fog and some cool conditions in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, it's not really great, is it? What a day yesterday in Nova Scotia. Fog and rain and temperature not getting much more than 17 degrees. It should be a little bit warmer for you today. Where it has been hot is in Toronto. It's almost Caribbean-like, isn't it? Formerly known as Caravana, what's it? Oh, Scotia Bank Caribbean Carnival.
That's right.
That's the new name, so it'll take some getting used to. But they had their press kickoff yesterday. The official festival begins tomorrow with the parade being July 30th. And it looks like the weather's perfect for this kind of thing.
Lots of sunshine. It is going to be just a little cooler today, but we have had no shortage of heat and humidity in Ontario.
Better hair day today, people.
That's for sure. So let's talk about the weather in Ontario. If you like the heat and the humidity, hopefully you've had a chance to enjoy it. Current conditions across the region, about 18 degrees in Toronto. This afternoon, we're looking at a daytime high of around 25. Believe it or not, that's just slightly below normal for this time of year. And the humidity won't be quite as intense as it has been the last couple of days. Looking ahead to the north, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds in most regions, 20 degrees. Your forecast high today in Wawa. And again, we are looking at a risk of thunderstorms across the prairies. This time, it's a very similar setup to yesterday. Saskatoon, Medicine Hat, and Lethbridge could see the most severe weather. Here's your long-range forecast. So beginning on Thursday, a second wave of moisture will push into the Avalon Peninsula of Newfoundland, so another rainy day in store for you. Nice day in New Brunswick and PEI, but still looking at some lingering clouds and some cool temperatures in Nova Scotia. Fair conditions across southern Ontario and Quebec. The potential for some more unsettled weather across the prairies, this time likely north of Saskatoon as well as Edmonton. Some wet weather in the long-range forecast for British Columbia. In fact, a risk of showers around Vancouver and Victoria throughout much of the week. Now, conditions are going to be improving in the southern prairies, and conditions are warming up under this ridge of high pressure. Potential for thunderstorms in Manitoba on Friday, and we're looking at the potential for some storms in northwestern Ontario as we move to Saturday. This will likely be the most active spot in the country. We're looking at fair conditions to the east and not bad conditions in the west either. By Sunday, some very hot temperatures in the prairies. Could be looking into the mid-30s depending where you are, and then this system could sink further south to the Nickel Belt region.
Looks dull, and that's staying.
Where's your bleach?
Forget bleach. Use Resolve Brighten White. Just add with your detergent.
To whiten, brighten, and fight stains without the harmful effects of bleach.
Hey, my shirt hasn't looked this good in a long time.
Trust Resolve Brighten White.
Visit Ramada.ca for our best rates and special offers in Atlantic Canada.
The new snack size McFlurry. It makes any moment perfect. Create your own for just $1.99 plus tax.
Going places, take Weather Eye with you on your mobile.
Nice to know what the weather's going to be for the week so you can plan what you're doing and what you're going to wear and just plan activities out for the summer and get everything organized.
When the weather is uncertain, there's no better time to give your living room a fresh look. And the best way is with Behr Premium Plus Ultra Interior Paint and Primer in one. Let's get it done. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Now when you buy an IKEA kitchen, you'll get up to 20% back in gift cards, which means you could have enough gift cards to buy quite a few pots or storage containers. It's really up to you. IKEA, any space can be beautiful.
Looks like everybody's at our biggest sale of the year, the PetSmart Power Sale. Save big on thousands of items right now at PetSmart. Happiness in store.
I've discovered getting the most out of life starts from the inside out. The natural wheat bran fiber in All Bran helps keep me feeling good.
Oh, my soul is what you feed. Feeling good on the inside's all I need. When I listen to my heart, inside's outside, everything's
feeling good on the outside starts with how you feel on the inside. So start every day with Kellogg's All Bran cereal and feel all brand new.
Happening Now is brought to you by Orkin PCO.
We're going to help you plan the rest of the week with a look at your local forecast, which is coming up in less than 1 minute. Following that, an update on some of the stories making headlines in Weather Network News. And we've had no shortage of active weather in parts of the country. Yesterday in Saskatchewan, some severe thunderstorms rolled through communities like this one, Delisle. There were reports of intense wind damage, including 100-year-old trees being uprooted. Also reports of walnut-sized hail in the area. Meanwhile, in parts of the Maritimes, there was some active weather as well. This was the scene in Moncton. Frequent flashes of lightning and some localized flooding reported along Main Street. Now, coming up in our newscast, Natalie Thomas is going to take a look at a room that can go from winter to summer in only a couple of minutes. Stay with us. Those details right after this.
Your local forecast is brought to you by Gravol Ginger.
Weather news is coming up right after this local forecast.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Gravol Ginger, naturally sourced to get to the root of nausea.
Hi, good morning. For the second night in a row, storms tore through parts of New Brunswick. Warm air provided the fuel for two sets of cells, one in the Moncton area, another one over central and eastern portions of the province. Environment Canada was warning people about the possibility of hail and damaging winds. In the Moncton area, gusts were strong but didn't live up to expectations, but the rain was impressive. Moncton Airport recorded more than 35 millimeters. On Monday night, severe thunderstorms prompted a rare tornado warning in Woodstock and Carleton County. No touchdowns were reported, but the storms dropped more than 50 millimeters of rain in the county by the time it let up on Tuesday morning. Southern Ontario is getting great beach weather, but anyone who has had to work in the heat, humidity, and in this case, dusty conditions likely isn't enjoying the warm spell. Toronto turned out to be the hot spot in the country yesterday. The high was just over 33 degrees, and with the muggy air, it felt several degrees warmer. Despite all the muggy air, the city is continuing on its dry trend. As of July 11th, Pearson Airport had recorded just 4 millimeters of rain for the month. Toronto has a long way to go to catch up to the monthly average. Normally, the city gets just over 74 millimeters in July. On the other hand, the weather in Toronto has been just about perfect to celebrate all things Caribbean. The Scotiabank Caribbean Carnival held the press kickoff at Nathan Phillips Square yesterday. Tomorrow is the official opening day. The annual festival attracts attention from around the world and is a big moneymaker for the city. It runs until August 1st with the big ticket event, the parade, happening July 30th. From Arctic to tropical and everything in between, you can find it all in one place. And it's in southern Ontario, just east of Toronto. Natalie Thomas has more on that story.
Well, here we are heading into the heart of summer, but we're just a few steps away from some of the harshest weather conditions that winter can offer. Let me take you inside to the new Automotive Center of Excellence here at UOIT to show you what I mean.
Now, this is a wind tunnel, but it's a very different kind of wind tunnel. It's a climatic wind tunnel. This tunnel, in fact, can go from -40 all the way to +60 Celsius. And up above, we can actually give you sunshine as hot and as bright as the equator. We can also throw snow, wind, rain, sleet, and thankfully we're not going to do that to me right now.
The chambers allow vehicles to be tested in not only winter conditions, but many different climates.
We can get really heavy humidity jungle hot here. We can get nice, beautiful, dry Arizona hot here. So the climate chamber makes a big difference.
This world-class facility can be used for more than just the car industry.
We've been approached by people in the aerospace industry, people in the green energy industry. Anything that is affected by severe climate can be tested and developed and validated in this facility.
Okay, so here's the big moment. I've asked for the royal treatment. We've lowered the temperatures to -10. We've raised the winds to about 100 kilometers per hour. So wish me luck. Here we go. This is the wind tunnel for the Weather Network. I'm Natalie Thomas in Oshawa, Ontario.
Okay. That's our newscast for this half hour. We'll have another update for you 25 minutes from right now. Stay with us. We've got your local details. They're every 10 minutes on the 10s.